the services of a data protection compliance organization, internally designate a staff who will either, depending on the size of the organization, who can either wear the hat of a data protection officer or who has that role as a substantive role. And you really need them to start working with you to develop policies, processes, and procedures that you will implement in your organization to ensure, one, that you comply, but more importantly, to create that awareness within your organization that there is a regime on privacy and on data protection, and your organization is at risk of exposure in the event of a data breach or of non-compliance with the provisions of the NDPR. There is a gray area as to whether you should, as a small organization that has maybe 50 or 20 customers, whether you are supposed to file an audit report with NIDA on an annual basis as required by the regulation. Well, what the regulation says is that if you process personal information of over, 1,000 customers, then you are obliged to file that annual report. If you process less, does not mean that you should not have your policies, your processes, and your procedures in place and signed off by your management to protect you in the event of a data breach.
Thank you very much. We have another question from MJ Christine. She's asking,
this should be the last?
Oh, okay then. Okay. She's asking, is there an extent or limit to the use of data provided by a consenting customers by finance companies?
Sorry, ask that question again.
Is there a limit or an extent to the use of data provided by a consenting customer by finance companies?
Yes, there is, because your privacy notice, when I was talking about the compliance organizations, the compliance obligations, you are expected to have what is called a privacy notice, and that is very, very critical. Every organization that processes personal data must have what is called a privacy notice or a privacy policy that is displayed in a conspicuous area for the data subjects to see, usually on your website or in your offices, or basically you draw the attention of the data subject to it, stating why you are collecting that data, what you intend to do with the data. Because if the data subject is going to give their consent to the processing of their data, it must be made clear to them what you want to do with that data. Now, the regulation goes further and says that if after you have explained what you intend to do with that data to the data subject, and sometimes you develop new products that you, at the time of obtaining that consent, you did not bring to the attention of the data subject, you must notify the data subject of this new product and seek their consent before you can process their data for that product. So you cannot tell me that you are collecting my personal information to advertise and market to me computers, radios, and electronic fans, and then sometime in the future, I see advertisements coming from you, advertising bras, advertising cars. That is not what I gave you my consent for. So yes, you must be able to define what you intend to use that personal data for. Otherwise, you may be in breach even after you have obtained the consent.
Right. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mary.
Okay, thank you so much, Barrister. We really appreciate you. Well, I don't know, the questions is just coming in, and because of our time, we can't attend to all. We are gradually coming to the end of the program, and our last speaker for today's event is from our regulator, Central Bank of Nigeria. So we have here the Director, Banking Supervision, ably represented by Mr. Abubakar Shebe. So Mr. Abubakar Shebe will be addressing the roles of financial institutions in data protection and privacy. So let's welcome Mr. Abubakar for his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, colleagues. Let me share my material with you before we continue. Yeah, sorry, Mary, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, let me reshare it and then confirm if you can see my presentation.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, we can see it, sir.
You can see it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a minute. Yeah, can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much. To start with, I want to appreciate Mr. Ayokunle Olani and Mr. Olusegun Adeyemi for their insightful presentations. I think they have made my job easier. My name is Abubakar Shebe. I'm representing my director, Mr. Haruna Mustafa, who is unavoidably absent. He asked me to extend his esteemed regards to the Managing Director, Chief Executive, and other management staff that are on this call. So we intend to talk about the data security and privacy, the roles of FIs. Just a minute. Yeah, and that is my table of contents. I'll start with the introduction, our approach to security and privacy of data. We'll look at the benefit of security and privacy of data, the implication of security and data privacy to the stakeholders, the regulators, the data owners, and the financial institutions. And then we'll just look at top 3 regulatory fines for breach of data in the past and the challenges to security and privacy of data. Data security. I hope you are hearing me, please. Okay. Data security and privacy are at the front burner of discussion by regulatory authorities, despite the economic rage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, organizations that manage data are charged with responsibility of protecting the data collected and the information that can be inferred from such data. Without securing this data, information, cyber criminals and other malicious actors will take advantage of this gap, and adverse impacts such as fraud, identity theft, denial of service, etc. may crystallize. Data security and privacy are, however, subcomponent of data protection, which is primarily concerned with the proper handling of sensitive data to meet regulatory and other security requirements. Typically, in the field of data protection, there are at least two parties: data owner or subject, and data custodian or keeper of data, e.g. banks, credit bureau, hospitals, payment service providers, other agencies. Too often, the terms security and privacy are used interchangeably. However, the terms are quite different, and it is pertinent to differentiate them as follows. Data security is achieved using policy, tools, and technology solutions such as firewalls, user authentication, network limitations. Data privacy is, however, achieved through measures that prevent data inference and linking of sensitive data to its data owner or subject. Data security can be met without satisfying data privacy requirements. However, one cannot address data privacy concern without first employing effective data practices. Data security is about protecting data from malicious threats, whereas data privacy is about using it responsibly and following the consent of the customer or data owner. Data security is primarily focused on preventing unauthorized data via breaches or leaks, regardless of who the unauthorized party is, while data privacy is concerned with ensuring that the same data and organization process, stores, or transmits. Just a minute, please. Concerned with ensuring that the sensitive data organization process, stores, or transmit is consented to by the data owner of the sensitive data. Sorry, I'm having some issues with my system here. Consequently, as more and more social and economic activities happen online, the importance of privacy and data protection is increasingly recognized. For example, a publication by UNCTAD on data protection and privacy legislation worldwide, February 2020, stated that about 66% of countries globally have data protection legislation. Over 50% of African countries have data legislations, which include Nigeria. 10% of countries have draft data protection legislations. Approximately 15% of countries have no evidence to determine whether they have data protection legislations or not. 10% of countries have no data protection legislations. Our approach. One of our mandates is to promote a sound financial system in Nigeria. However, to achieve this mandate, the security and privacy of financial data is a major requirement. In this vein, the CBN has issued several frameworks and guidelines to ensure the security and privacy of financial data in Nigeria, which include, but are not limited to: 1, regulatory framework for open banking in Nigeria 2021, CBN risk-based cybersecurity framework and guidelines for deposit money bank and payment service providers, Consumer Protection Regulation 2019. Now, benefits of, excuse me, please. It is imperative to say that any organization that implements data security and privacy measures stand a chance of having, 1, an enhanced organizational reputation. And basically, enhanced organizational reputation. 2, it may lead to increase in revenue. 3, improve customer loyalty and confidence. Assure data integrity and availability. Reduction in regulatory risk and penalty resulting from data protection and breaches. And reduced unauthorized access. Here are a few common regulations to help provide guidelines for maintaining security and data privacy. We were looking at it, we based it on sectors and region. For sectors, financial industry, the most popular is the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI DSS. And it's a set of rules protecting sensitive payment card information and cardholder data. It applies to banks, merchant, third parties, and other entities that handle cardholder data from major payment card brands. We also have the HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability Act in the US, and this is concerned with protecting the sensitive health information of patients. For the regions, we have the popular GDPR, the EU General Data Protection Regulation, and is among the world's toughest data protection laws, protecting the privacy of European Union citizens. Under the GDPR, the EU's data protection authorities can impose fines up to 20 million euro or 4% of worldwide turnover for the preceding financial year, whichever is higher, if there is a breach of an European Union citizens' data. Africa. The other speakers have spoken about this. I don't need to dwell on them. In Nigeria, we have the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation. It was issued 2019. The first data protection regulation in Nigeria to create awareness of data protection and privacy and to regulate those who have access to and control people's data and information. Then we have the guidelines for the management of personal data by public institutions in Nigeria, which is like explaining basically the NDPR 2019, and it was issued by NIDA, issued as a guideline for the implementation of the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation within public institutions in Nigeria. Then we have the guidelines for the management of personal data by public institutions in Nigeria 2020. Implications of security. Regulators are required to issue directives for regulators and supervisors. Regulators are required to issue directives, frameworks, and provide an enabling environment that will engender the security and privacy of data. As supervisors, we're also responsible for enforcing compliance with security and data privacy regulations. Then for the consumers or the data owners, they are mandated to know data security and privacy controls of data custodians and check if it suits their requirements. And a data owner is accountable for who has access to information asset within their functional areas. I think this was explained earlier by Mr. Adeyemi. On the implications, financial institutions are responsible for self-custody, transport, storage of data, and implementation of business rules. They are the keepers of data, mandated to implement administer controls over the information according to instructions from the owners and the law. They must understand the challenges of data security and privacy and devise strategies to address them. They must continually assess compliance with applicable data protection laws, regulations, and guidelines. They must ensure that data protection is part of the organization culture complemented with staff training and performance indicators. We just wanted to share like some top 3 breaches and of data security and privacy and what happened to those institutions. We had the case of Amazon. Amazon reported a penalty of 746 million euro in July 2021 earnings statement. And this was as a result of browser cookie consent and the way it collects and shares personal data via cookies. Similarly, in late 2020, France fined Amazon another 35 million euro after the tech giant allegedly failed to get cookie consent on the website as customers shop online. Google, in 2019, Google was fined 50 million euro because of how the tech giant provided privacy notice to its users and how the company requested their consent for personalized advertising and other types of data processing. On October 5, 2020, Data Protection Authority of Hamburg, Germany, fined the clothing retailer H&M 35.25 million euro. H&M's GDPR violation involved monitoring of several hundred employees. Now, challenges. The challenges are data privacy and protection is not an easy task. It starts with classifying data and ensuring that both sensitive and personally identified information are protected according to their risk level. However, security and data privacy come with several challenges. Number one is the growth of data is okay, high cost of maintaining data privacy. Cost of privacy, and this because a data breach can cost organization. Honeyman Institute found that the average cost of breach in 2017 was $33.62 million. Therefore, organizations must make investment in several key security technologies, such as data archiving, backup, and redundant infrastructure to ensure that data is safeguarded and can be recovered and restored. 2, growth of data is exponential. Data is growing faster than ever. A report by Forbes in 2015 stated that more than 1.7 megabytes of new data is created every second. Organizations, particularly financial institutions, must keep up with protecting not only their customers' personal information, but also sensitive personal information. Number 3, human error creates a level of complexities. Common everyday human errors can significantly affect data privacy and protection. Many security analysts claim that human error is the biggest challenge in data privacy and security. Ill-informed and unaware employees can use weak passwords, mistakenly delete data, fall for phishing scams, have privileged account access, and browse websites not under acceptable use. Number 4, increased numbers of open vulnerabilities. According to Common Vulnerabilities and Exposure Database, nearly 15,000 disclosed vulnerabilities surfaced in 2017. This is about 56% more than the 2016 total vulnerabilities. The rapid increase has led to a record-breaking number of public data breaches. Third-party engagement in data. Data processing activities involve more than one entity, usually 2 or more. Therefore, it is unclear if all parties involved in data management processing value chain are conscious of security and data privacy. In conclusion, financial services provider must continually ensure that security and data privacy controls are implemented in products and services that are offered to our customers. During product designs, consumer protection regulations and consumer costing should be paramount. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful presentation. We do appreciate you. Mr. Abbas, please quickly, maybe just 2 questions.
Okay, we have a question yet from anonymous attendees. He's asking if it's okay to have a core banking application in a cloud environment. What's the CBN policy on that? I think that's what the person wants to know.
Yeah, we have a guideline on open banking. You can visit our site, and if you visit our site, it's very clear what can be done about the kind of access and what you can do. So I would advise that you visit our site, or you can actually call us. You can get in touch with us, and then we'll give you more information on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Victor Umoyang is also asking that in an OFI environment, who can best hold the position of a data protection officer?
Who can I get a question again?
In an OFI, who can best hold the position of a data protection officer?
We have what we call the Chief Information Security Officer. That is the person accorded that priority and status. Then the first question, I just have to remember that if you look at our frameworks, banks are to comply with cloud security by alliance guidance. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you, sir. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, my sister Mary.
Thank you. Sorry, because of our time, we're trying to rush the whole thing. Let's welcome the MD CEO of First Central Credit Bureau for his final contribution.
Well, there is not much to be said again. Once again, I'd like to say a very big thank you to panelists and everyone who has participated. Indeed, the questions are just too much, so we're going to attend to them in the email broadcast. I'd like to say a very big thank you. It's very informative. It's been a very informative section. I think there's one thing I also like to touch on. I see most of the question here. There's a similarity amongst some of those questions that speaks to the other financial institutions. Sorry, the fintechs. Someone said GoCash, GoCash and the rest of them are money sharks and all that. Indeed, what's the regulator doing to? Well, the regulators are here. What are they doing to monitor that? Indeed. CBN has done a lot in the fintech space, but then the fintech governed by slightly different dynamics. They are not necessarily all under the purview of the CBN. There are those with the money lender license, those licensed by the Lagos State and all of that. So the dynamics are slightly different. But I'm sure there is work in progress towards having a generic guideline for all of the fintechs. Yeah, so for that, I mean, yeah, some of the methods are very intrusive. They send you text messages and all that. Yeah, indeed. I'm sure in due course, all of that will be taken care of. Right. Well, we can't take all the questions. Thank you very much, everyone. It was great having you this time.
We can't take all the questions. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much to all our speakers for doing great job. I must confess, I know that we have all gotten value from this webinar. So to Mr. Ayokunle Olaniyi, Mr. Barrister Olusegun Adeyemi, and Mr. Babakar Shebe, thank you so much for honoring our invitation and speaking to us. Thank you so much. We appreciate. God bless you all. Then to the First Central team that put this program together, I would like to say a very big thank you. Time will fail me if I start calling out your names one after the other. Then to our able MD, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. So to our participants, wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough for leaving your busy schedules to join us on this webinar. And I believe that you have learned a lot that will help you in advancing your businesses. First Central Credit Bureau, we are doing a lot to enhance security and privacy of data, especially in a large techno space where innovations have taken the order of the day. We are trying our best to reduce manual data processes to automated services in order to reduce human intervention and errors. Our API, with our API service, you can integrate and submit your data directly on our database. And our endpoints allows you to upload your data monthly and daily basis. We also have a platform called iRemedy that allows you to handle your data updates internally or at your convenience or comfort zone using a maker checker approach. So if you've not launched, you've not signed up for that database, please kindly do that after this training. Then we ensure the information that you submit to us via our API passes through encryption channels. This is to protect the data and privacy of your customers. I have had a lot of situations that people ask, how do this API thing work? How does it work? So I want to state here that we will be organizing a training session where our tech team will be breaking down the processes involved for easy integration. So if you have not joined the API family, let me put it that way, you will be getting invitation from us so that we'll have a one training house where the tech team will do justice for those who haven't joined the service. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being part of this family, First Central Credit Bureau. We thank you for your continued patronage, because we wouldn't have been here without loyal customers like you. You would have chosen another bureau, but you choose to get stuck to us. So please continue to use First Central Credit Bureau as we remain your loyal, truly and reliable credit bureau. Thank you once again, and do have a great day. Enjoy the festive period. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.